This is Junior Summer Sailing for 2024, if anyone's in the wrong spot. So just to let you know. Okay, so our agenda for the call tonight is basically we're going to kind of tell you who we are, what the organization's about, what offerings we have, the programs that we're doing, kind of what to bring, what to expect. There's a water comfort check, kind of like used to be called a swim test, and then open it up for a bunch of questions at the end for you guys. So that's pretty much the program for the evening. At any point, if you get disconnected, you can always reach back out via email. Our email's on the website, and we'll get back to you that way for sure. So feel free to reach out via that way as well. So Monterey Peninsula Yacht Club has been around for quite a while, and their mission is really to connect people to the Bay, and that involves our junior sailing program and opening up as wide of berth as we can to get as many people out there.
Oh, and shouldn't you be sitting facing the TV?
So that's kind of our goal there. I'm going to keep admitting people. So the team that will be with your kids during the summer is our head instructor is Dante Fiala. He's a MPC college student. Grew up in the program from really young and made it all the way to becoming a junior instructor, then an instructor, and then now is leading the program on a day-to-day basis. I'll explain who I am in 1 second. So he's your like day-to-day, you're at the yacht club, that's who you're going to be talking with. My name's Bradley Shook. I'm the program administrator, so I'm on like the back end. You'd email me, or I might be there a couple days where you're going to see me, but I'm more on the back end. My background is in instructional design. Instructional design is like how people learn. And I actually work for US Sailing, which is the national governing body for the sport of sailing. And I write and help build curriculum to teach people how to sail nationally that gets used nationally. So that's kind of my main job. And then on the side, I kind of help MPYC run their junior program. So that's kind of who I am. I grew up sailing in junior programs and did college sailing and now continue to sail at MPYC during the week and in adult programs and stuff. So that's kind of who I am. Your team, besides Dante at the head here, you got two co-instructors. You got Kieran and Oshin. Kieran's going to be a high school senior at PG. He's running the development Opti team, which we'll get more into what that is. Oshin is also a high school student at York, and he is the co-lead for the Terra Learn to Sail Terra program. You then have 3 instructors. You got Sam, Zach, and Jimmy. Sam is at Carmel High, and he's going to be helping Dante run the Learn to Sail Opti program with Zach, who's also going to be doing Learn to Sail Opti. Zach's at Monterey High. Jimmy's at Jimmy's at MPC, and he is going to be kind of our switch hitter, where he is kind of running around doing multiple programs, and at some point will be in each of the disciplines or each of the classes. So he's kind of our fill-in guy. And then we have a large staff of junior instructors, and junior instructors are volunteers that have grown up through the program and have learned how to sail. And so they're here to help your kids connect to what's going on. And it just is another helping hand out on the water and on land when they're trying to learn how to do knots and stuff. So we got June, we got Amelie, Rosie, Lyric, Milo, and Eddie. And all of these guys do high school sailing. and are ready to help out throughout the summer. Okay, let's move to the programs. So our programs are built to kind of scaffold on top of each other. So they're built to, like, you start at one level and you kind of move up over time throughout the levels. And we've moved levels around a little bit, trying to, every year we kind of get feedback and we learn from what we've done in the past. So we've adjusted some things here and there, but we basically have morning programming and afternoon programming. And morning programming, in the morning, it's lighter winds, easier to learn to sail in lighter winds. In the afternoon, the wind builds. And so our advanced programs are mostly in the afternoon. So our Learn to Sail program, we have a Learn to Sail Opti program. And I'll go into more detail on each one in a second. But and then we have a Learn to Sail Terra program, a Opti development program, which is one step up from a Learn to Sail program. And then we have our Intro into ILCAs, which is a laser, or Intro into Club 420s. And then we have our Pinnacle, which is Advanced Club 420 Sailing. And we'll get into each what those are as we go forward. Okay. If I'm going too fast, someone please just let me know, and then I'll slow down a little bit. So our Learn to Sail Opti program is the main program people start with at Monterey Peninsula Yacht Club. The program is really geared towards kids that have never been on the water. They don't need to know how to sail. They've never need to be in a boat before. And we're basically looking for 8 to 11-year-olds in this program. Sometimes we do take 7-year-olds if they have like an older friend in the program or a sister or brother in the program that can help move them along if things get too overwhelming. They have a friend to kind of work with, I guess, in the boat. So that's always helpful. So it's 1 week long, so 5 days. There's 8 separate sessions that you can sign up for. Each session is around $380. You're going to notice pricing is mostly the same throughout the process for non-members and $295 for members. There is multi-session discounts, which I should say right now because I don't say it anywhere else. Each additional session that you sign up for, it's another $100 off each session. So that's one way of cutting costs. The other way is if you're doing a lot of sessions is to become a junior member, and that's $135 at the yacht club. And junior members get you the membership price. So the program starts June 10th and goes through August 2nd. There is a bonus week at this level, week 9. It's August 5th through the 9th. It's same price as everything else. It's just a limited version of the course. And we have a smaller staff during that time, so we limit the numbers of students. The program runs from 9 to noon. It's really important you can come in a little bit early, 5-10 minutes, but it's also important to pick up within 5-10 minutes of the window. Our staff kind of has to switch clubs. There's another club running programming, and some of those instructors go over in the afternoon to a different club. And so we need to be able to move people around the peninsula to maintain other programs. So number of students, this is normally a really good ratio. It's 9 to 12 students per class. The average ratio for the country, or what US Sailing says, is 6 to 7 people per instructor. We have 2 instructors for this class. So it's a pretty good ratio. We normally set it at 9 and only adjust if needed. So One note is the 4th of July class. There is no 4th of July camp. So you'll miss a day on that. So it's a 4-day week for you. What we tend to do there is you can either pick a day of the week before or the week after and show up to that day. You just need to let us know which day you pick. And then you can get your extra day or your day that you're missing on those shoulder weeks. If there's any confusion or you need to speak about that individually, feel free to reach out and we can make accommodations individually for that. But yeah, Opti Learn to Sail is the main class most people will end up taking for in our program if you're just starting out and you're under 11 years old. There's the Learn to Sail Terra class. That class is really designed for the 10, 11, 14, and older group. The boat's a plastic boat. It's a single person boat. It's we go out of the turning basin, so we're not sailing right next to the club. We're sailing a little bit farther away from the club. If you're just starting out, this is a great class for, like I said, 11 to 14-year-olds. This is also a great class if you're done Opti development, you can move into this class. It's also a good way up to get into lasers. And this is like a small little Elka boat, which is that laser boat I talked about earlier. Same price structure, $380, $295 for members. Same dates. This class also has a bonus week attached to it. Also starts at noon. Pickup is at, I'm sorry, also starts at 9. Pickup is at noon. And there's 7 kids per session in this class. And we can't adjust that at all. We have 7 boats, so there's can only be 7 sailors in this class, unless you have your own, which we can accommodate that then. Okay. So the Opti development group is pretty much the next level for Opti. So if you've done Learn to Sail Opti for a year or two, this is your next step. So it's taking you from learning how to rig the boat, learning how to tie knots, learning how to sail in kind of like a straight line, maybe some upwind sailing. Now we're taking you from inside the harbor, we're taking you outside the harbor, and you're learning kind of where the terrace sail. You're learning how to navigate more open water. You might have a course now that you have to be able to sail around. It's more independent sailing. There's obviously still an instructor, but it's more adventurous as we take you away from the club. Same price structure as before. There's also a bonus week for the morning. And then 9 to noon, 3 to 5 people per session. And it is 9 to 13-year-olds is kind of the age range for this. Same thing with 4th of July. The introduction to Ilka's is 1 week. It's 2 weeks, 1 session, $495. You do have to be a member. This is an afternoon course. It starts June 10th, ends June 21st. The afternoon sessions are 1:30 to 4:30. There's 6 sailors, age 14 and up. This class is already sold out unless you have your own laser to bring or your own Ilka 6. So just FYI. These are bigger boats. You're going out into the bay. They're single person boats as well. Intro into C420s, which is Club 420s. This is where you learn how to do a spinnaker, which is the colorful sail in the front. There's now 2 sails. There's 2 people in the boat, so you're having to work together. All the other boats up to this point have been single-person boats. This is a 1-week camp. It's $350 for members. June 24th from the 28th, same time, 1:30 to 4:30. And then number of students is 8. Ages 14 and up is generally what that is. Oh, I need to admit one person. Okay, and our last kind of class to go through is the Advanced Club 420. It's a 2-week class, $495, um, per, and you have to be a member. It's July 1st through the 12th, 1:30 to 4, same number, 8 people. And this is where you start to really learn how to use the boat for racing, how to get out on the trap, which is this wire that you see the sailor on. And now you're outside the boat a lot, and it's ages 14 and up. So if you're in high school, this is a perfect class for you once you've done intro into 420s. The other thing about the double-handed boats really fast is sometimes it's an easier if you want your high school student to start sailing for the first time. This might be a good, not the advanced class, but the intro might be a good class, as the crew doesn't need to know how to sail necessarily, where the skipper needs to know how to be able to drive the boat. The crew can learn pretty fast how to crew the boat. Okay. We got what to bring. So we are a wet environment. The kids do end up in the water. So there's a wetsuit that you should bring. You can buy one just really cheap on Amazon. Don't go crazy buying something really expensive. You can rent ones at there's a Adventures by the Sea, which is near the yacht club, that you can rent. Bring towels, spare clothes, shoes, refillable water bottle, sunscreen, snacks, gloves for the afternoon sailors. We do provide life jackets. The easiest thing to do is go to Home Depot and get a bin, one of those plastic bins, not a super huge one, but like a general size one. And then you just put everything in there, and that's their bin, and you write their name on it. And then we can stack them all up at the yacht club. But then if they have wet clothes, they're putting all those wet clothes inside the bin, closing the lid, and putting it in your car versus bringing all this wet stuff into your car. So when they take their wetsuit off, it goes into the bin goes into the car. It's a lot more handy for you guys. So note that. So we do what's called a water comfort check. They never are in the water without their life jacket. So the first thing to do is make sure everyone fits in their life jacket. They then jump in. We're looking so that they are comfortable in the marine environment, that if they capsize, which is a standard thing that happens, that they can not freak out. They then kind of have to swim a little bit and then tread water, but they're in a life jacket, so they're already treading water. They will do a capsize test, which is like they flip the boat over and they flip it back. Not too scary. A lot of kids have a lot of fun doing it. So that's one thing here to do. And yeah, I think I went really fast, but I'm open to questions. And feel free to use the chat too. I can respond via chat questions too. So anyone can take it away, or we can, oh, here's another person. And I'm more than willing to answer questions via email. You can call us and leave a message as well. And we get back to you normally within 24 hours to help. Registrations pretty much through our club spot system. The multi-session discount, like I said, is going to be pretty fast. It's automatic. So if you sign up all at the same time, it gives you that discount. Can you please provide more details about shoes? So yeah, so you can get sandals, or I normally do water shoes, those like things you used to get at Rite Aid for like $5 back when things were cheap. Those are the best, like shoes that can just get wet. Sandals they can wear, and they take them off in the boat or leave them on the dock. But I wouldn't get Crocs are perfect. So things like that. That's the kind of shoes we're looking for. They're not like all the morning classes, they can be in all those things. My son never sailed before and is doing 1 week of Terra in June and 1 week Opti development in July. Is this appropriate? Yeah, so that's perfect. So Tara, he's gonna learn how to sail, and then the Optis, he's gonna like hone a little bit more.
Dog game is great.
So that's a good spot to be in. For the so if
You're
you're
gonna do
trying
homework,
to
right?
like figure out like a progression plan throughout the summer, normally learn to sail is a good one first, and then going into Opti development. Or if you're a bigger kid or an older kid, staying 2 weeks in learn to sail, Terra is another good option for you. Can you say again about Crocs? They would take them off on the boat so they capsize, they don't lose them. So a lot of times what kids will do is they'll take their Crocs off and leave them on the dock and get into the boat, and then they'll just be barefoot in the boat. What the shoes are really important are for the docks. We have cleats. We don't want kids to jam their toes on the cleats, which is how you tie the boat up so it doesn't drift away. But you don't need shoes on in the boat. You just need them on around the yacht club. Where's the drop off pickoff? Oh, thank you so much. I missed that slide. Pickup and drop off is located right at the yacht club. The easiest thing to do is
Let me just like.
you'll get an email that goes out that explains, it has little diagrams of where to pick up, drop
Actually, I
off.
can just ask Mandy to just.
The easiest thing to do is sometimes we have a spot right in front of the yacht club that's outside of the yacht club that you can drop off, still kind of watch your car where it's parked, drop them off, and then go right back to your car. And you can see your car the whole time, so you won't get a ticket from the ticket police people. But yeah, so you don't need to come into the yacht club. We take them kind of at the curbside right in front of the yacht club by London Bridge or Sapporo's, the restaurant, right in between the two clubs. Thanks. I'm done questioning. You can wear a rash guard under your wetsuits. It's not required, but is an option. By the way, one thing's going to happen in a minute here. For some reason, my Zoom call started before you all got on, way before. So it might drop you off in a minute. If you click back onto the Zoom link, feel free to come back and ask questions. But most of the information I've given, but there are additional questions that you can ask throughout the time. So just FYI, there's going to be, you might get dropped off or kicked out. But feel free to jump back on. There'll be probably a smaller group. You'll be able to ask more questions if you want that way as well. Thanks for all the information. Yep, no problem. Cool. Feel free to ask questions, or I'm going to pop back on that other link as soon as we drop here. So if anybody pops back on.